In today's libraries, technology plays a central role in both operations and services. However, while technology itself poses few physical risks, users, whether intentionally or accidentally, can be a significant threat to it. This lecture explores how libraries can protect their investments in technology and safeguard users' personal information. We'll look at physical security systems, software protections, internet filtering, IT security, and privacy policies. The goal is to understand not just the tools available, but also the ethical responsibilities of library staff in maintaining a secure and private environment for patrons. Libraries employ a variety of technologies to safeguard their physical collections, which include books, media, and increasingly, digital devices. One of the most common and long-standing methods is the use of magnetic security systems. These systems involve embedding magnetic strips into library items and installing sensor panels or gates at all exits. When a patron checks out an item properly, the magnetic strip is desensitized, either by passing it over a demagnetizing machine or covering it with a card so it won't trigger an alarm. If an item is taken without being checked out, the sensor detects the active strip and sounds an alarm. While effective in deterring theft, these systems are not foolproof. False alarms can occur due to technical glitches or human error, and they do not provide detailed information about the item being removed. To enhance both security and operational efficiency, many libraries have adopted radio frequency identification, RFID technology. RFID tags are small chips with antennas that are placed inside or on library items. These tags store not only a security status, indicating whether the item is allowed to leave the library, but also a unique identifier for the item, similar to a barcode. RFID systems allow for contactless scanning, meaning staff or patrons don't need to open a book or align a barcode to check it out. Multiple items can be scanned simultaneously, which speeds up the checkout process and enables bulk inventory management. Returned items can be automatically sorted by machines, and shelf reading can be done with handheld scanners that detect mis-shelved items based on their call numbers. These features make RFID a powerful tool for streamlining library operations. However, RFID is not without its challenges. One major concern is privacy. Although RFID tags used in libraries do not store personal patron information, they do emit signals that can be read within a short range, typically between 2 and 12 inches. This raises fears that someone with a scanner could identify what a patron is carrying, potentially compromising their privacy. The concern is not necessarily about current capabilities, but about future possibilities and misuse. Libraries must address these concerns by educating patrons, ensuring that no personal data is stored on the tags, and implementing policies that protect user confidentiality. Another significant consideration is cost. RFID systems require a substantial financial investment. Each item in the collection must be tagged, and the infrastructure, including scanners, gates, sorting machines, and software, must be installed and maintained. Staff must also be trained to use the system effectively. For some libraries, especially those with limited budgets or low theft rates, the cost of RFID may outweigh the benefits. In such cases, an alternative approach might be more practical, such as establishing a missing item replacement fund within the acquisition's budget. This fund could be used to replace stolen or lost items without the need for expensive security systems. Ultimately, the decision to implement RFID or stick with traditional magnetic systems depends on a library's specific needs, resources, and values. Factors such as the size and value of the collection, the frequency of theft, the availability of funding, and the library's commitment to privacy all play a role. Libraries considering RFID should consult resources like the American Library Association's RFID Implementation Guide, which offers best practices, vendor comparisons, and ethical considerations to help make informed decisions. Public computers in libraries serve a wide range of users, from students conducting research to community members accessing essential services. Because these machines are shared and publicly accessible, they are particularly vulnerable to misuse. Users may attempt to install unauthorized software, delete important files, or alter system settings, either intentionally or accidentally. Such actions can compromise the functionality of the computers, introduce security risks, and disrupt services for other patrons. To mitigate these risks, libraries implement software solutions that restrict user access to sensitive functions. Tools like Deep Freeze, WinSelect, and Clean Slate are commonly used to lock down systems. Deep Freeze, for example, restores a computer to its original state after each session, effectively erasing any changes made by the user. WinSelect and Clean Slate offer customizable restrictions, allowing libraries to block specific applications, prevent downloads, and control access to system settings. These tools help ensure that public computers remain stable, secure, and ready for use by the next patron. In addition to third-party software, many operating systems offer built-in controls that can be configured to limit user actions. For instance, Windows and Mac OS include user account settings that restrict administrative privileges, while web browsers can be adjusted to block certain types of content or prevent changes to default settings. These measures are especially useful in environments where budget constraints limit the use of commercial security software. By implementing these restrictions, libraries not only protect their equipment, but also create a more consistent and professional computing environment. Patrons can rely on the machines to function properly, and staff can spend less time troubleshooting issues caused by unauthorized changes. Ultimately, limiting functions on public computers is a proactive strategy that supports both security and service quality in the library setting. Internet filtering in libraries is a complex and often controversial issue. At its core, filtering software is designed to block access to websites that are deemed inappropriate or harmful, typically those containing explicit content, hate speech, or other material considered unsuitable, especially for children. This technology is often implemented in public and school libraries to create a safer browsing environment. However, the effectiveness and fairness of filtering software are frequently questioned. Filters can be overly aggressive, inadvertently blocking legitimate educational or informational websites. This can hinder research and access to knowledge, especially when the filtering criteria are not transparent or easily adjustable. The legal landscape adds another layer of complexity. In the United States, the Children's Internet Protection Act, CIPA, mandates that public and school libraries must use filtering software if they wish to receive federal funding for Internet access. This requirement places libraries in a difficult position, balancing the need for funding with their commitment to intellectual freedom. The American Library Association, ALA, has taken a strong stance against mandatory filtering, arguing that it violates the First Amendment rights of library users. According to the ALA, decisions about Internet access should be made locally, with input from the community and a clear understanding of the library's mission to provide open access to information. Despite these concerns, many libraries continue to use filtering software, often customizing it to meet the needs of their patrons. Some libraries choose to filter only on computers designated for children, while others implement broader restrictions. In practice, filtering is rarely perfect. Inappropriate sites may still slip through, while useful resources may be blocked. This creates a need for responsive systems. Libraries must be able to quickly whitelist legitimate sites and educate users on how to navigate filtering limitations. Staff training is essential, as is clear communication with patrons about what is being filtered and why. Ultimately, Internet filtering in libraries is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It requires thoughtful policymaking, ongoing evaluation, and a commitment to balancing safety with access. Libraries must consider their community's values, legal obligations, and the potential impact on user experience. Whether a library chooses to filter extensively or minimally, the decision should be guided by principles of transparency, equity, and respect for the diverse needs of its patrons. IT security is a critical concern for libraries, especially as they increasingly rely on digital infrastructure to manage collections, provide access to resources, and support patron services. At the heart of IT security is the need to protect servers, networks, and individual computers from unauthorized access, data breaches, and malicious attacks. Library servers often store sensitive information, including catalog records, website files, and even personal documents uploaded by patrons. If compromised, this data could be lost, corrupted, or exposed, leading to serious privacy and operational consequences. To prevent such breaches, libraries implement firewalls, software or hardware systems that act as barriers between the internal network and external threats. Firewalls help ensure that only authorized users can access secure areas of the server, while public users are limited to designated content. This is especially important when servers are accessible from outside the library, such as through remote catalog searches or digital lending platforms. Wireless networks introduce additional challenges. Because Wi-Fi signals extend beyond the physical boundaries of the library, unauthorized users could potentially connect from nearby locations, such as a parking lot. To mitigate this risk, libraries often require users to log in to the network and use firewalls to restrict access based on user roles. Physical barriers like bookshelves and building materials may help reduce signal leakage, but they are not sufficient on their own. Another major aspect of IT security involves protecting public and staff computers from viruses and malware. These threats can be introduced through email attachments, downloads, or external devices like flash drives. Viruses may cause applications to malfunction, corrupt files, or even reformat hard drives. To combat this, libraries install antivirus software on all machines and ensure it is regularly updated. Staff must also be trained to recognize suspicious emails and know how to respond when a virus is detected. In addition to viruses, libraries must guard against spyware, which can secretly monitor user activity and collect personal information. Spyware often enters systems through deceptive downloads or pop-up ads. Tools like adware and Malwarebytes are commonly used to detect and remove such threats. Libraries also use pop-up blockers and spam filters to reduce exposure to harmful content and prevent bandwidth congestion caused by junk emails. Overall, IT security in libraries is about creating a safe and reliable digital environment for both patrons and staff. It requires a combination of technical tools, thoughtful policies, and ongoing education. By proactively addressing vulnerabilities and staying informed about emerging threats, libraries can protect their systems and uphold their commitment to user privacy and access. Libraries, while committed to providing open access to information, must also be vigilant about protecting the personal data of their users. In today's digital environment, patrons face increasing risks from identity theft, spyware, and other forms of malicious software. Identity theft occurs when sensitive information, such as social security numbers, credit card details, or login credentials, is captured and misused by unauthorized individuals. This can happen through seemingly harmless activities, like clicking on a suspicious email link or downloading a file from an untrustworthy website. In a library setting, where public computers are shared and internet access is open, the potential for such threats is heightened. Spyware is particularly concerning because it can be installed on a computer without the user's knowledge. Once active, it monitors online behavior, records keystrokes, and collects personal data, including passwords and browsing history. This information can then be transmitted to third parties for malicious purposes. Libraries combat spyware by installing specialized detection and removal tools such as adware and Malwarebytes, which scan systems for hidden software and eliminate it. Keeping antivirus and anti-spyware programs updated is essential as new threats emerge regularly. Another common threat comes from pop-up advertisements, which may appear while browsing and entice users to click. These pop-ups can serve as gateways for spyware or other malware. To reduce this risk, libraries configure browsers with built-in pop-up blockers, which prevent such ads from displaying. Similarly, spam emails, unsolicited messages often containing harmful links or attachments, can clog inboxes and expose users to phishing scams. Libraries use spam filters to intercept these messages before they reach users, preserving bandwidth and protecting against data breaches. Ultimately, protecting personal information in libraries requires a combination of technical safeguards and user education. Staff must be trained to recognize and respond to security threats, and patrons should be informed about safe online practices. This includes avoiding suspicious downloads, being cautious with email attachments, and understanding how their data may be tracked online. By fostering awareness and implementing robust security measures, libraries can uphold their ethical responsibility to safeguard user privacy in an increasingly connected world. Protecting patron privacy is one of the most important ethical responsibilities of library staff in the digital age. As libraries increasingly rely on electronic systems to manage circulation, reservations, and digital access, they inevitably collect and store personal data about their users. This data may include names, contact information, borrowing history, search queries, and even usage patterns across library services. While such data is essential for operational purposes, like tracking overdue items or managing interlibrary loans, it also poses risks if not handled with care. Unauthorized access, data breaches, or even internal misuse can compromise patron trust and violate privacy rights. To address these concerns, many libraries and their parent institutions implement responsible use agreements. These agreements outline the expectations for computer use and inform patrons about what data is being collected and how it may be used. Transparency is key. Users should know that their search histories, website visits, and interactions with library systems may be logged not only by the library but also by external websites and services they access. This awareness empowers patrons to make informed decisions about their online behavior. Beyond informing users, libraries must also adopt data retention and deletion policies. For example, once a book is returned, does the library need to retain the checkout record indefinitely, or should it be deleted to protect the patron's privacy? Similarly, usage statistics can be valuable for planning and improving services, but they should be anonymized and stored securely. The American Library Association provides guidance on these issues, encouraging libraries to minimize data collection, restrict access to sensitive information, and regularly purge unnecessary records. Education plays a vital role in privacy protection. Patrons should be taught how to safeguard their personal information online, such as avoiding unnecessary logins, using privacy-focused search engines, and understanding how websites track their behavior. Libraries can support this by offering workshops, printed guides, or one-on-one assistance. Additionally, providing access to privacy-enhancing tools like secure browsers or VPNs can further empower users to protect themselves. In summary, patron privacy protection is not just a technical challenge, it's a cultural and ethical commitment. Libraries must balance their operational needs with the rights of users to read, explore, and learn without fear of surveillance. By combining transparent policies, secure systems, and proactive education, libraries can create an environment where privacy is respected and safeguarded.